Hope y'all Monday's going great. Did you catch the premiere of my What I Wish I Knew About Money as a Black Person? I just dropped that. I was gonna look at my watch, y'all, but my Apple Watch acting up today. I dropped that about just a few minutes ago at 6:45 CST. So if you have not checked that out, be sure to check that out. Be sure to definitely drop me a comment. Let me know some things that you wish that you knew about money as a Black person or a person of color. I definitely want to know. Happy Black History Month, y'all. It is Black History Month. I wore my Black Girl Magic shirt today. And I just have all my Black History outfits already planned for this month. I love Black History Month. But happy Black History Month to y'all. Happy Monday. Hope y'all are doing good. I'm just logging on with y'all to just chat for a little minute and, see if there are any questions about my latest premiere. If you don't know, on my channel is Money Monday. So this year I just started it. I am going to be coming to you with a Money Mondays topic. And maybe I'll do like a whole Black History Month series with just different things in our community that we should talk more about regarding money, or that we need to know about regarding money as well. So if you haven't, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. We are getting a lot more folks that are just subscribing to the channel. So shout out to y'all. I think we're going to hit 1,300 subscribers soon. So thank you so much for your support. I greatly appreciate it. And yeah, let's just get right into this Money Mondays topic. And guys, in case you haven't noticed, as my videos premiere, I will definitely be hopping on live for a little while after. I know I wasn't there for Self-Care Saturday. This Saturday, y'all, I went to the movies. I saw Missing with Nia Long and Storm Reed, and it was so good, y'all. Oh my gosh, that movie was so good. I am like a Lifetime buff, and that just exceeded anything that Lifetime, could have done. So I just was like, yes, Nia Long, yes, Storm Reed. But yeah, let's go ahead and let's get into it. So in the video, and y'all know I got my notes here. I gotta look at my notes. In the video, I just give you 5 different tips or 5 different things that I wish that I knew about money, just as a Black person. And things that I didn't really see in my community, in my environment, in my household. These are, things that I want to share with y'all. Whether you're a person of color or whether you're just someone, that money wasn't talked about in your household, or you didn't see good things about money. These are things that I definitely want to share and just make sure that the information gets out there. So I'm sorry, my brows are browning right now. Okay, let me get back on topic. So the first thing that I talked about is how to budget. So I don't know about y'all, but I did not learn how to budget growing up. I did not see budgeting growing up. I may have seen like a balancing of a checkbook like every now and then, but it wasn't like a regular principle that I grew up on, that was infused, in me. Even just growing up as a kid, budget was not a part of my vocabulary. I feel like my kids, yeah, budget is going to be a part of their vocabulary. Debt free is going to be a part of their vocabulary. Financial literacy, all of these things are going to be just a part of their vocabulary. And I know sometimes, I've seen posts on, just social media, our schools need to be teaching, budgeting and more hands-on skills and blah, blah, blah. But no, this is like the parents' job, right? There are other things that the school folks have to teach. So these are things that, we are supposed to see, growing up. So budgeting was something that I wish I knew more about, that I wish I saw in my community, and not budgeting when the money's running out. No, every dollar has a name. I sit down and I do this, whether it's bi-weekly, weekly, or monthly. I know that's something that I really want to do with my kids. Like, I want to pull them to the table and I want them to see me budgeting. I want that principle to be ingrained just in their heads, that we don't spend money unless it's budgeted, for. And if we didn't budget it for it, we're not going to spend it. We're going to wait till we budget. And then that's when we can have that conversation. So I think that's just an important, just like dinner table activity. A lot of things happen at the dinner table. We're eating, we're talking about our day. But I think it's important for us to talk about those financial principles like budgeting. What does that look like for our household? Why do we do it? Why do you need to do it? What happens if you don't do it? These are skills, that should be learned by our families. And then just things that I would like to see more in our community. Not budgeting when the money's about to run out and we're trying to budget because we don't want to end up with nothing. Like, no, that you have to start, that way. And that's how those principles, can kind of set root within you and your money can work for you. So that's something that I really would have liked to learn or would have liked to see in my community. And that's something that, like, I am really strict about budgeting. Like, I have my budgeting app connected to my bank account. I actually just did that because I've had the premium version, for some months now, but I hadn't connected it to my bank account. But I just did that just to take my budgeting to like the next level. Like, I want to see like the graph, of just the fluctuations in my spending and things like that. So budgeting is really the first step to financial literacy. How do you even know what you have if you didn't budget it? How do you know where it went? How do you know that, hey, I spent too much here last month, so I really need to buckle down, and maybe kind of get this spending, in check? How do you know that if you don't budget? So that is a very, very, very important trait. And most importantly, I think it's more so about not just saying, you got to budget, but actually whether you're writing it down on a piece of paper, whether you're using a spreadsheet, whether you're using an app like I use, these are things that, like, no, we need to see them apply. Because, yeah, we know the budget. Like, who don't know that? We know the budget. But have you seen these skills be applied by somebody and they actually were doing it right, Because that's another thing, too. As you're budgeting, your money should be able to do what you want it to do. And if it's not, sometimes that means that you a little heavy in one category, you're not really sticking to the budget, or maybe you need to increase your income. But it's more than just having to save. I feel like, yeah, in my community we've been told what you're supposed to do, but have we seen it? Like, no. Especially I'm just in this IG age where everybody rich and going on vacation every week, blah, blah, blah. Like, girl, no, ma'am. So, number one, how to budget. Number two, y'all already know that I was going to talk about this, debt and its effects. Like, it was so important for me now that I think about it. Like, debt is something that, like, the Lord has convicted me about debt. Like, I cannot do it. Like, I couldn't go into debt if I wanted to, outside of a mortgage. I ain't talking about a mortgage, but like, in anything, outside of that, like, I cannot do it. I actually bought a cell phone. So I'm upgrading my phone. I've actually had my phone since 2018. Since I was in the classroom, I had my phone since 2018. And now, I'm, live streaming with y'all, YouTubing on the regular. And I'm like, it's time to upgrade my phone. I really want to, make sure that I'm giving y'all the best footage. Plus, it's time. Like, the corner of my screen, I can't even see, like, the battery powered in it because it's kind of blacked out there from when I dropped it. So I'm like, okay, it's time for a new phone, girl. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to, buy me a phone. This is probably the first time, y'all, that I have bought a phone since probably high school. Like, back in the day when you actually just bought the phone, it wasn't like no finance. It wasn't, paying on it. Wasn't none of that. Back in the day, you went to Singular, you went to Alltel, and you just bought the phone. Like, that was it. There was none of this payment stuff. Whereas, as the years have progressed, my last this cell phone that I had, I paid it off, of course, but I was financing it, and every phone before that. And I say that to say because I actually just bought my first phone since high school cash out of pocket, because I say no to debt. Like, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna let it steal from my future. I'm not about to be paying on no cell phone. Like, no ma'am, girl. I wish I would have known, more about that. Debt was normal in my household. That was normal in my community. To be going to the stores, early in the morning to put something on the bill, things like that. To be calling, about payment arrangements, to put something on the bill. Those were things that I saw in my community all the time. I didn't think, anything of it when I, took on those same things that, yeah, I'm just paying payments on it. Or, yeah, I'm going to just do, put a little bit down and then I'll stretch it all out. Like, I didn't think about those things. I wish I would have known more about the effects of debt and how, like, it literally steals your paycheck. It stresses you out. Like, I think the stress comes from not so much as working. Like, working is stressful. Some jobs are stressful. Like, my job can be stressful at times, but it's more so that compiled with you got all these bills. And I'm not talking about like electricity, gas. Those are things that are a part of life that, no matter what, you're going to have to pay that. Jeff Bezos got to put gas in his car, unless he has like a Tesla or something. But still, the point is that, gas is a normal thing. Electricity is a normal thing. If you don't pay it, you will be in the dark. These are normal things. But it's not normal for you to have all these payments. Like, y'all saw my paper that I carry in my wallet. I had all these payments. Like, no, that is not normal. That is not okay. You have to get those things, under control. Say no to that. And I really want for that to be more of a message in our community of Black people, of minority people in general, that we are saying no to that. We not gonna, be sold the dream. We're not gonna be made into thinking, oh, you getting a deal. Like, no, you not. They are getting you even harder. And that brings me back to my cell phone point, because what I noticed was there were no deals for me to pay for a phone cash. Now, why is that? Why is that, you get a discount for financing your phone, they'll give it to you today. But when I go to, pay my phone upfront in cash, there's no discount. And that's because they get more money from you, when you make payments on things like that. Like, and I think that that's kind of where my mind has gone with that. Why would they just want to, give me a discount? Why would they want to do that? Why would they want me to, pay on this for the next 24 months? Why would they want to do that? Because they're going to get more money out of you. They don't get any money out of me when I say, all right, how much is it? Here it is. Thank you. Give me my item. Give me my detailed receipt that says 0 monthly payments. But yeah, if you notice that, like, the way our country is set up, it's all these perks, all these deals, all these points, we're helping you out by taking on this debt. No, they're not. And that's a message that really I will ingrain in my kids' head. I want them to see me paying for things in cash. I want them to see me asking, how much is it? Not how much are the payments? No, how much is it? All right, here it is. These are things that I want my kids to see, because debt really steals from your future. Debt steals from your educational dreams. If you're trying to save for your children's college, or if you're trying to save for your own college, how can you do that with all these payments? Debt can stop you from getting a house. Debt can stop you from having a peace of mind, to be able to go to sleep, to be able to go to a job and actually enjoy it. Debt steals so much more than just your money. Your psychological wellness as well. So that's something that I would really like to see more in our communities. Us really saying no to debt. I know right now there's a big push for OPM, other people's money. And no, I want to use my own money. And that's just my thing, and I understand that everybody is not on board with that. Other people money, and that's how you get rich. Girl, bye. No, you don't. Other people money is, guess what? Other people money. And I almost feel like it's a house of cards, because one wrong move, you get in a car accident and can't work for the next month. That's your behind. Now it's other people money for real, and they want it back. It's just like one wrong move you make. It only works while it works. And one thing goes wrong, and it's a house of cards. It falls down just like dominoes. So I'm not playing that game. I'm not playing the debt game. I'm not interested. If I have to go into debt to get it, count me out. I'll be moving on to something else. So yeah, debt and its effects, y'all. It's serious out here. Say no to debt. My third one is paying for college. So I work at a university, and so I'm surrounded by college students all day. I'm a college student myself. Hopefully wrapping up here shortly, y'all. Ooh, Jesus, I'm ready to be done. But I'm a college student myself, and paying for college is something that's not talked about in our community. We are told, go to college because that's what you're supposed to do. Go to that college and get your degree. It's going to change your life. And that's not necessarily true for some people. Yes, college did change my life, but that's not true for everybody. So it is important for us to have the message of, what is it that you want to do? Does it require college? Maybe it's a technical degree. Maybe you are more of an entrepreneur and you've already been working on starting your own business, but maybe there are some courses that you could take to just kind of strengthen your knowledge in that area. But there has to be a conversation in our communities about college. Why are you going? The purpose of college, and most importantly, how is it going to be paid for? Now, I am of the belief that, parents don't have to pay for college. If they do, that's perfectly fine. Ain't nothing wrong with it. But there are some parents who cannot cover their costs for that, for their children, especially, families that have bigger families. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But there has to be a conversation outside of just go to college. Because students, they often do what they're told, and then they get there and they're lost, and that's not fair to them. That a plan has not been set in place at all. We have to talk about, okay, you want to go to college? That's good, son or daughter. Awesome. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to help you to pay for that. But let's sit down and let's really get a plan. And I'm not talking about student loans. Let's not, say, well, you are going to have to take out student loans, but just take out this much. Please do not tell people. Sometimes I see people who have not gone to college just offering wrong information like that. And that's a message for some people. Beware of where you're getting your advice from. Did this person do what you're trying to do? Were they successful in it? Did they dig themselves into a hole? These are questions that you might want to ask, because sometimes, information is just thrown in our communities. There is no research that went into it. And just in addition, it's what somebody told us to do. Because in our communities, we are very respectful of our elders and things like that. But, there comes a time where, you might want to start asking some questions. So, because guess what? When you in that debt, that's your debt. You think they're going to help you pay it off? No. So, it's important, for us to talk about, hey, let's go to a college. Let's sit down with somebody who's in this field. And let's talk about, how do people pay for college? Are there scholarships, that you could go to? Many, well, I was going to say universities, but many states are covering those first 2 years. So many states now, you can go to college those first 2 years for free. California is one of them, I believe. I think New York is one. And some of them might be doing 4 years. So it's important for you to look into those things and to choose the option that's going to leave you with zero debt. That may mean that you have to work while you go to school. Nothing wrong with it. I worked during college too. That may mean that you have to start at maybe the community college, while you save up enough money to go to the university. Nothing wrong with it. Nobody cares where you got your degree from. They only want to see the transcripts that say conferred. That means that this person received their degree on this date. It's real. It ain't fake. That's all they care about. So it's important for us to talk to our young black men and women about student loan debt and its effects. Please, like, we can't be saying stuff like, oh, you gonna pay it all because you gonna get a job and, they gonna, give you all this money. No, they not. Okay, I am so sorry to disappoint some people, who are, just believing that dream. It don't work like that. It takes a minute to get established within your career and make the money that you want to make. So that is just so important to know that just because you go to college does not mean that you're gonna be this millionaire. Like, so it's important for us to not fall just into that trap. You have to pay 6 months, 6 months out of school. You got to start paying them student loans back. And guess what? They was accruing interest the day you took them out on a daily basis. Every single day they were accruing interest. That's something that's not really circulated in our communities like that. So that is very important that, I need to look into an educational option that I can afford and that I will be able to pay for. Because the effects of student loan debt are serious. So in the video, I talk about an article that I read about black women being the highest, I guess you could say, earners in a way of student loan debt, or being the highest holders of student loan debt. So, black women, we are the most educated, but we're also some of the highest earners of student loan debt. And those are things that stop our future. Like, we need to be out here flourishing. We need to be out here traveling. We need to be out here doing things that the people don't typically do. We need to be out here spreading education. We need to be out here making all the money. We do not need to be boggled down by the detriments of student loan debt. And of course, y'all already know on the 28th, the Supreme Court is set to start hearing arguments about Grandpa Biden's student loan program and what he's trying to do. He's trying to forgive up to $20K. On the 28th of this month, the Supreme Court will begin to hear about that, and I'm going to be reporting on it for you live. So you will be hearing about that as more and more things come out. So definitely stay tuned into my channel. So if you're just logging in, here are the financial principles that I wish I knew as a black person: how to budget, debt and its effects, paying for college. So really setting up a plan regarding that and how to pay for it, so I didn't end up in student loan debt. And then my number 4 is retirement. So I'm gonna be so honest. When you start working and they talk to you about retirement stuff, you don't know what they be talking about. I know I wasn't the only one. I'm like, what? Like, I did not know what they were talking about. And I've been working since I was 16. So I got my first job at 16. And I really just started learning about retirement for real during my debt-free journey. Like, it actually started making sense to me. Like, the light bulb came on. And I feel like that's something that's not talked about in our communities is retirement. Like, we don't talk about retirement until, like, we're being forced to retire, whether that's through, being pushed out of jobs or like some medical concern. But we don't think about those things until it's too late. I know for me personally, I didn't know what a Roth was until I started following Dave Ramsey. I was like, what is that? These were words that I had never heard of, Of course, I knew, about a 401k, that word, like, I had heard before. But I think about, I've been working since I was 16 years old. So that's when retirement, starts. But I can't say, that I was mentored in any way, like, regarding those things. So I think it's important, for our children to know that once they get their first jobs, of course, you're not going to be in that job forever. But son, daughter, here is what retirement means. Here is the method that this job is using for retirement. This is what you need to put in it. Once you leave this job, then we're going to roll it into this, things like that. Like, those are things that, child, And then I really haven't, like, heard just in our communities in general, besides you retire. Like, yeah, duh, we know that. But, it's important to retire with dignity, with respect. It's important for you to really have control over that. Nobody wants to work, for their whole lives. And I don't believe, in, just stopping work and sitting at home, eating chips and watching TV. No. But there does come a time where, you've worked, you paid your dues, and you want to receive some residual income from it. Like, yeah, who don't want that? And I think it's important for us to start having those conversations just much, much earlier. And that's something that as I'm learning about, retirement options and just different modalities, I'll be sharing that with y'all too. Okay, so my fifth one was credit. So, of course, we all know don't have bad credit. Pay your bills so you don't get bad credit. Like, these are the things that we're told. Like, we know that. Like, everybody knows that, right? But I think it's important also, in our communities for us to talk about what is credit. Like, what is it? How do you get it? You get credit by going into debt. They want to see that you are somebody who can pay back money. So that's how you get credit. You got to go into debt to get it. Why do people want credit? Why is it such a big thing? What is the FICO score? I hear people talking about the FICO score all the time. That is your debt score. That basically says how much debt, you've had and how well you've been able to pay it back. That's all a FICO score is, right? So, sometimes I just hear like a lot of just miscommunication or education surrounding that. But I know when I started the Dave Ramsey program, I heard things about credit that I had never heard, which was, that basically that he doesn't play the credit game. He don't care about credit. He got money. He's not worried about that. And I think that's one thing that I see in our communities, especially from some of these financial repair people. Just as a note, you do not need to pay anybody to pay or to fix your credit. That is illegal in several states. So if you are paying somebody to do that, you might want to make sure that it's not illegal in your state and they're just not taking your money. But you fix your credit by looking at your credit report and paying what you need to pay. That's how you feel. You don't need to pay nobody to do that. In addition to, when I became debt free, like my credit score went down. So that kind of already tells you, they want you to stay in debt. That's very important. And that's one of the things that I learned, this country, they want you to be, owing, somebody. They want you to be in debt because that's where the money is made. One thing I know I really learned about credit that I didn't know was, you don't need credit to buy a house. How did they get houses back in the day when the credit score wasn't a thing? They did manual underwriting. They looked at your work history. They looked at your ability to pay bills. They made sure that you weren't delinquent on things. If you ever heard of NACA, the loan, that's all NACA does. They look at your credit score. It's basically manual underwriting. So, there are ways just around these things. No, I don't need credit to go buy a cell phone. I'm just going to pay for it in cash. If I don't have the money for it right now, I'm going to save it. I think there's a message that's preached in our communities about credit, credit, credit. You need credit. But you got all this credit, you ain't got no money. Huh? How that work? So, you don't have any emergency fund. You got credit though. Like what? These are things that, are not just preached to us. So I think that, that's something for us to think about, really expanding our minds about credit, about what the purpose of it is, how you get it, how it can affect you. These are things that we really just need to talk about. I'm not an OPM person. I'm not a other people's money person. I'm not trying to take out, a loan, other people's money, so that I can, do something outside of a mortgage, But yeah, I'm not interested in that. Debt has stolen enough from me. I want to be able to save my money, and if there's something that I need, then I'm going to get it. And if I don't have it to get it at the moment, guess what? I'm going to be okay. I'm just going to save. I did the same thing for myself, and I just saved over the past few months. And I was like, all right, I got it. It's time. Of course it takes longer, but I feel like things that you want take time. We have a microwave mindset in our community that I want it now, FOMO, fear of missing out. And it's important for us to, take off the baby diaper, because that's what babies do, right? They whine and until they get it now, because they don't understand. But we do understand as adults that good things take time. So, it's going to take me a little longer to, to get the newest iPhone. It's going to take me a little longer, to get whatever it is, because I am not playing the credit game. I'm not going, into debt. And I believe what God has for me is for me. Like, y'all, there is ways to get things that you need outside of credit. Yeah, it may be a longer process. Yeah, you may have to, of course, show some proof, like some pay stubs, some tax returns, things like that. But I'm okay with that. I got that. I ain't in no rush. I got it. We'll just wait. When it's time for me to get it, and after y'all have looked over my stuff, give me a call. I'll be here. And that's one thing that I've kind of, just gotten used to, is not being so, I want it now, because I can be like that sometimes. But I've really kind of just been trying to retire that, and it is hard, and especially I think it's more so surrounding the lack of information. Because, yeah, some people don't know these things, and these are things that we have to talk about. We got to research. We got to ask questions about, because, listen, you can do it, okay? You can do it without the general thing that folks are telling us. Oh, you got to have, this credit score. Oh, you got to take out this loan. That's not necessarily true, So I'm not going to, fall into that. I am going to do what I need to do by doing my research to make sure that I can get what I want. So, those are my 5 tips that are financial things that I wish I knew as a Black person. Y'all drop down in the comments right now and let me know if you're Black, if you're a person of color, if you're a minority, if you're somebody that financial principles were not talked about in your household. Drop down in the comments and let me know what you wish you knew. So if you're just logging in, my top 5 things that I wish I knew, and maybe I'll do a part 2. How to budget, debt and its effects, paying for college, student loans, knowing the detrimental effects of student loans, retirement, IRAs, Roths, 401k, and credit. Those were the 5 things that I wish that I really knew. If you didn't check out my video, it premiered at 6:45 tonight, so be sure to go back and watch it. It is live on my channel. And also check out my debt-free playlist. I have a whole debt-free playlist just about my journey over the past, 2 years now of just, learning about financial principles. If you have questions about it, drop down in the comments and let me know. Also, y'all, don't forget, Mondays are Money Mondays. So if you have a financial topic that you want me to talk about, be sure to let me know, and maybe I'll make a video about it. And the blog is up, y'all. Dugan Diggs Disability is back up. I just wrote my first blog in several months on, I think it was Friday or Thursday. So y'all head over to dugandiggsdisability.org and check out my latest blog. And follow me on social media. So I am on Alexis Dugan on Facebook. I'm on Miss Dugan 09 on Facebook and Instagram. So y'all be sure to give me a follow or a like over there as well. I love just interacting with y'all, and thank y'all for tuning in. I greatly appreciate y'all support, and I'll be back on Wednesday, y'all. We'll be back live on Wednesday, so I'll see you then. Bye.